Hello and welcome back everybody to Culz Book Reviews. This time we are doing something a little bit different as we do our first requested book review on this new channel. And the book that was requested was The Killer Inside Me by Jim Thompson. Now this isn't a normal type of book I would probably pick up. I do a lot of different books that are, as you can see, we got a ton of paranormal obviously, but a lot of history and sciencey stuff. And so this definitely was outside of like the normal stuff I would probably pick up and read. And I think that's what's so exciting about doing these requested ones you guys want us to talk about, because it gives us a little bit different flavor on the channel, a little bit different just material that we can read and pick up. So without saying too much or ruining anything, what is this book about? Well, it follows Lou, our protagonist, who has this secret, and his secret is he has murdered previously. He calls it the disease. And so it's definitely a different book if you haven't read or seen different movies where maybe the protagonist is maybe a little bit of a not really a unreliable narrator, because he seems pretty straightforward, but he's not a good person, I will say. So something maybe a little bit like American Psycho, but at the same time, American Psycho has a little bit more unreliability to it, but not as much as, like, say, a Fight Club would have. So this follows Lou as he tries to cover up one thing, which leads to another, which leads to another, and it kind of just spirals out of control. And for the most part, I think Lou is pretty calm throughout the whole story. We don't really see anything that's like overly crazy. And I think that's what a lot of people, including like you see Stanley Kubrick on the cover right there, probably the most chilling, is because, it's not overly dramatized. It seems like all the people are pretty realistic. When they have conversations or how they're described, they seem pretty realistic, I'd say. Writing style for me took a little bit to catch on, I will say. In the beginning, it was like just adjusting to how it was written, but I do think overall the writing gets better as we go on. In the last two chapters specifically, when it's really just in one location, I think is really well written towards the end of the book. And so I guess it kind of reminds me in a way of Rant, but less how Rant was written, because that was a crazy all over the kind of place written book, but more of it. Just the more I read, the more I enjoyed it, we'll say. As you can see, this one has a foreword by Stephen King, which you can see it's in there. I actually started to read it and then didn't read it till the end because it seemed to be giving away some of the plot, and so I was like, oh, I better not keep reading, I better actually go through and read this book and then I'll come back to it, which is what I did. Then I was looking at the title today and I was like, man, that sounds really familiar. And I was like, oh, maybe just because it's an older book, or people have said it here and there. And I was like, no, that's totally a movie. And then I looked on IMDb and I was like, oh yeah, it's that Casey Affleck one. So maybe at some point in the future we'll do a review on that one. If you guys want to see, let us know in the comments below. So overall, what did I think of this book? I would probably rate it, I don't know, a 7.5 out of 10. It's pretty well written. Like I said in the beginning, it's not the book I would necessarily go in and read. Maybe back in the day when I was more into like Stephen King and that kind of stuff, I would have picked this up. But as of recent, if you watch the channel, a lot of the stuff we cover is just history stuff, research stuff. And so I don't really have a lot of time to do, just random books or just novels that are, fiction. And so I was really excited to have this request and at least kind of break the norm on the channel. So I'll definitely say thank you for the recommendation. I think it was a good book, and I think we can recommend this one. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit different for you guys if you haven't read something where the narrator is maybe not a good guy, or seen something where the narrator is not a good person. And so if that's something you're not enjoying, it might not be for you. But like I said, if you like Stephen King, if you like some of that horror aspect, or maybe true crime stuff, like if you read into some of the serial killers and those type of books, this might be a book for you. So yeah, definitely check it out and let us know if you've read it. What do you think of it? We definitely enjoyed it. But until next time, if you want to see more Culz book reviews, click that link to your left. If you want to see more about what we're doing here at Culz Paranormal, click that link to your right. And don't forget to hit that like and give us a subscribe. And besides letting us know if you've read this book, is there any books you want us to check out?